Good morning and welcome to the NBA Daily presented by eBay. I'm Dave DuFour here with Baraheni and James Edwards for our Eastern Conference preview. We've gone through all the teams in the East. Now let's figure out who's going to win it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, guys. Season about to start. I know James is extremely excited to get back to work.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, who I shouldn't say what I was about to say. Yes, I'm very excited. People might be listening. Yeah.
You guys, we've done 30 teams worth of previews. We've done the Western Conference preview, and we've saved the least for last. The Eastern Conference, guys.
Come on, Dave. It's a great conference.
Okay, is this the year that maybe we don't trash talk the East? I mean, it's going to be competitive, at least within itself. I mean, there's chance, right?
You know what I think is going to happen? I think it's nobody knows what's going to happen. It's like Philadelphia, right? The last few years, the bar was high, and there's all these expectations. And I'm using Philadelphia as kind of representation of the East in general. Now the bar is low, and when the bar is low, you just have fun watching the fun teams.
Yeah. Right.
Like you can talk, like we're going to talk ourselves into Orlando, Detroit, and Atlanta. Like that's just going to happen, right? Like because we don't expect much. So I think it's going to be fun. Will it be a good conference? I don't think it matters as long as Oklahoma City cares enough to try to win as many titles as possible. But it's going to be fun.
There were, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that won less than 40 games last year in the East. Over under on how many we get this year. I would actually go under. I think there will be fewer teams this year that win 40 or fewer games in the East.
Interesting. I was going to say more. I was going to say all 15 teams in the Eastern Conference win less than 40 games somehow. I don't know. But between, the thing is the injury bug has hit the East. So it's maybe a little bit down year from a narrative standpoint. Obviously Jason Tatum being a massive injury, just completely, changing the trajectory of the Boston Celtics franchise. Tyrese Halliburton getting injured, and then Miles Turner leaving the Pacers. I mean, that team is just totally different this year. So those guys not going to be playing this season. Who are the 5 best players in the East right now? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Giannis is the best player in the East, at least as of today. I don't think that's controversial. You guys agree?
100%.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it depends on how much you believe in Joel Embiid, right?
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm just going to put a big question mark on Joel Embiid. We've seen some of the stuff coming out of training camp. He looks like he's moving okay, but like we've been here before. Is he? I don't think he's starting the season.
I think I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, I mean, it would be a surprise to me if he does. A chance. But that being said, I'm hoping that he is, but he's a big question mark. I think we could leave him out for the purposes of this exercise.
Yeah. I mean, if he's 30 games of Embiid versus 65 of anybody else in the East, that's
I mean, look, if he comes back and he's somehow healthy enough to play 60, 65 games, it'll be a miracle. And he would be a top 5 player. The guy is super talented. So who comes after Giannis, James? I mean, is it Jalen Brunson?
That's who I went with. I did my list in order. At a point, your resume speaks for itself. And Jalen has terrorized the league with the ball in his hands. I think Cade has had like 53% of his threes were assisted, Halliburton in the 50s, and Jalen like 43. Like this guy is a guy who just gets buckets and finds ways to get buckets, right? Like there is a level of shot making and offense that he has in this league that we put offense on a pedestal that you can't ignore what he's done in a New York Knicks uniform. And you add in the accolades, I think it's pretty safe to say he's the number 2 player in the East.
Now, James, do you think there's another level Brunson can go to? Because like Dave mentioned maybe MVP conversations this season. He was in MVP conversations last year, but is there another level that he can get to in his career?
I think we'll find out this year because of how different they're going to play. I think he's going to be off the ball more. Can he be in small sample sizes? He's been a very good spot up shooter. Can he be elite at that? Can he find that proper balance of creating for himself, being off the ball and then creating for others. Like, I think there's going to be a different style in which we see him play this year, which will, I think if this doesn't take him to another level, then he'll be what he is, which is one of the best players in basketball, which I don't think is an issue. But I think this year will be the year we find out. Maybe next year if they get year 2 in a Mike Brown system.
He kind of plays basketball like Floyd Mayweather, right? I mean, he's trying to play the full 48 minutes, and he's going to just continue to touch you every single time he can. He just beats these guys up. But I have worried, like, the last couple of years watching him, will he run down? Right? Like, just it's a hard style to play. Every single bucket is kind of tough. I mean, there's not a guy in the league that takes the shots that he takes. I mean, it's the hardest looks every single night, and he's undersized. So I hope to see, like, this year an improvement in the offense so he can get more of those buckets. But does it, what does he have to do to have the off-ball gravity? Is it just sticking shots, or is he got to be a better cutter? Like, what do you expect to see out of him?
Yeah, I think being a better cutter helps, but I also think just getting him off the ball and just getting it moving side to side, getting him in situations where he's coming around pin downs, coming around screens, able to shoot from the wing. Sometimes maybe you put him in the corner as a kick-out guy, just easier shots. Yeah. I think that's what's most important. Like you said, this guy has had to work for a lot of buckets, and that's what makes him so great, because the efficiency has been there, the winning has been there, and he's found a way to do it. But there is a way to get him easier shots, and I think that's what Mike Brown is very much keyed in on this season.
Also,
get
just
him going
to add,
downhill.
There's a way to conserve Jalen Brunson without having him take fewer shots or take more shots off the ball. It's like not having him bring up the ball every time, because dealing with that full court pressure and that ball pressure is another aspect that, like, just wears guys down. So you have Mikal or you have someone else bring up the ball. It makes it a lot easier for Brunson to get into his actions off ball too.
Yeah, so you can bring him up off a pin down out of the corner and get him right into a pick and roll up at the top of the key. Who you got next, S?
Oh, man. I think this is pretty clear to me. Curious. This is where the list splits off, though, right? This is where it's like you're entering a different tier of player, probably.
We're going to be finding out about everyone's personalities, because the Eastern Conference doesn't have, like, all these overwhelming talents.
Yeah. I went Donovan Mitchell. I think he is still the most, and maybe not the most important Cavalier, but he's the best Cavalier in terms of what they require from him, scoring wise, the offensive load that he carries. He is what will take them to that next level. Now, you can argue Evan Mobley is their most important player just because of what he provides versatility wise to them, like how far he's able to expand his offensive range, how he's able to look in the playoffs and the postseason will dictate how far this Cavs team goes. But I think Mitchell is their best player. I think he is the pacemaker for everything that they want to do on both ends of the floor. Truthfully, I think he's kind of actually underrated defensively, in my opinion. So I got to say Donovan Mitchell, that's number 3 for me.
Same for me. First of all, I think it's important just to note the resume, right? Like, we can't just dismiss that.
100%. Yeah.
Elite shot maker, elite driver. I think he's improved as a playmaker at times. And I agree with you. I don't think he's as bad defensively. Now, is that the system? And when you have guys behind you, you can
100%.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, I think that's part of it, but who cares? Like, it's basketball is a team game. I just think you have to go with the resume when it comes to Donovan. Just one of the best scorers in basketball. The reason that the Cavs get up so many threes, the reason why they play so fast, the reason why the offense is so potent, it's him. He's the head of the snake.
Basically has always been a playoff player, right?
Yeah. 24 points a game last year, which is 24 for his career as well. Mm-hmm. 37% three-point shooter for his career. Is about 38 last season. I mean, this guy is he's kind of in his prime still. Does he have another level? And does he have to hit that for the Cavs to get out of the East?
I think it's more so, can we get the best of Donovan in the playoffs? And we'll get to this a little later. I think my biggest thing with the Cavs is, especially last year, they put themselves on this pedestal. Look, we play our starters less than anybody, right? Like, yeah. But they looked run down by the second round. Like, I know they had injuries, but I can just vividly remember Donovan Mitchell's hands on his knees like 3 times in the elimination game. Like, Why is that the case? Right? Like, so can we get the best of Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs? Can we get the best of this team in the playoffs? Like, that's what matters. Enough of the 60 wins, and JB did a great job there, right? But this team has flamed out in the playoffs, no matter who the coach is, right? At a point, the players got to look in the mirror.
Yeah, I will say playmaking is also a big thing for Donovan Mitchell. That's the next step for him. Like, he is a good passer, but overall, for the amount of scoring load and usage that he has, he's still pretty I would say
there's another level.
Not a top tier passer in the NBA for how much he does for a team offensively. So like he needs to be able to manipulate defenses. And to your point, James, in the postseason, when it matters, when the coverage is all geared towards you and the scouting report is Donovan Mitchell versus everybody else, how are you going to find open shots for your teammates?
All right, I'll go next because I think that this one also won't be controversial. Although if you go back a year ago on this show, me saying Cade Cunningham is a top 5 player in the Eastern Conference probably would have been a surprise and a shock.
It is
I'm shocked.
I know, James. I'm known as a Cade hater, but you know what? You can't hate on what he did last season. Okay, we got to see what it looks like when he has actual NBA talent around him, and that matters. You know, you can't be a top 5 player in Charlotte, for instance. It's just not going to happen. But Detroit, it's a real basketball team now, and I think Cade. This is a guy that can be the best player in any playoff series. I think this coming playoffs in the East, he can be the best performer against any single person out there. You know, his highs are extremely high. And when you can defend the way that he does also, it's nice when your best player is not a defensive liability. You don't have to scheme around them. It allows them to add another shooter out there that might not be able to defend that well, which just unlocks more stuff for Cade. But I think that the leap we saw last year was the first one. I think that he's got another one coming this season. I know. I'm preaching to the choir right now.
Yeah, you really are.
I thought I would be the one. I thought maybe Ez might have Cade 5. I thought I'd be the only one to have him 4. And I agree with you. And I think there's a couple things here. Detroit had actual NBA talent around him last year. But we still have to acknowledge that his second best offensive weapon was Malik Beasley, and he still did what he did.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's not a knock on Malik Beasley.
No.
But that shows that the Pistons still haven't even really gone for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what, we talk about all these other teams in the league. The Pistons are going to go for it at some point. They're just spending this time figuring out what young guys are worth building around outside of Cade. And there's going to be a point where they press the button. And I think it's going to be scary for a lot of teams. Go ahead. Yes.
I was just going to say they are probably my favorite Lowry marketing destination because he matches so well with what they want to do offensively. And if the Jazz decide to blow it up blow it up might not.
I think that's blown. All right. That is a smoking crater.
I heard myself say
Salt Lake City.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. If they decide to blow it up again and trade Lowry, then I would put the Pistons number 1 on the trade destination list just because of how well he pairs with Cade. So, sorry, go ahead, James.
And there's a couple other things with Cade. I'm not speaking out of turn here. I've talked to Cade about it many times, and I think it's been an emphasis for him this summer. He's coming into the season in shape. I think the one thing with Cade, he's understood the conditioning aspect. And now that he's played basketball deeper than just, in their case, when I was there, March, this thing was the white flag in March. He understands that importance. And I know just talking to people around that organization still, conditioning was huge for him. Mm-hmm. And I think that'll help with the turnovers. Mm-hmm. I think that'll help with some of the nonchalantness we see when he's getting double teamed and it leads to a lot of the turnovers. That's the big thing. I think that's what we love about Cade is how smooth his game is, but he can just be sometimes too cool for school that when he doesn't meet pressure with pressure, it leads to turnovers. And I think we're going to see less of that this year. He still hasn't even really become the 3-point shooter I think he'll be. And like you said, defensively, he's really good. I just think that guy just has it. What he did last year if we take Cade off that team, and they have some good players, right? But we're not talking about the Pistons in the same way that we would talk about OKC if they took Shea off or I don't want to say Halliburton off the Pacers. I guess we'll find out, right? But I think it's a different level. I think there's a drop off, and that dude, I still think there's still things he can refine. But what he did last year, it speaks for itself, and I think he's only going to get better as this team continues to invest around him.
His lower leg injury issues, I wonder if that contributed to lack of just not being able to be in condition to start the season. I don't want to give him any excuses, but he has had kind of like a run of every single season, something going on with his lower leg. So maybe that's
I agree. I think except last year, 2 years ago when he missed last year was basically this is his 5th season. So last year was basically his 3rd season because he missed his 3rd season.
Right.
So yeah, he had like a rod in his leg, learning how to play with that. And I remember him telling me when we were talking about the 3-point stuff and how it hasn't translated like it did at college. He's like, it's not an excuse. He's like, that shit is just farther. And it takes time to adapt to it.
Well, right? I would even say it's the distance is a thing, but it's the rhythm and the feel of that distance, right? Like your pickup points are higher. Like it's just it's a different, the way that the geometry of the court is just different by adding the extra 1.5 feet. I mean, it really does
running up and down, right? There's a difference between stationary shooting threes, but then when you're defending Dame Lillard on the other end, your legs are a little soggy, right? But you still got to be it's just getting used to all that.
Also, everybody's 6'7". I just let's not underestimate that everybody is 6'7" and an absolute freak athlete, and it is just hard. So there is that. All right, I think that this final spot, top 5 in the East, this is probably where we're all going to be all over the place because now it's going to be Styles. Go ahead and go first.
Man, so we're chalk for the first 4.
I know
because I agreed with you guys on Cade. We're chalk. Yeah. This is where I might differ a little bit because there are a few options. I'm going to go with, and I lean defense, so I lean a guy who can play on both sides of the ball.
Well, then we're not going to go chalk.
So he's going to go chalk. I went with Pascal Siakam, Indiana Pacers forward. How awesome was last year for Pascal? Pick. Because Eastern Conference Finals MVP, you could argue whether he was the guy to get that over Halliburton with the shots that Halliburton hit, whatever. We can debate that. But in terms of the on-off metrics for what Pascal does impact-wise for that Pacers team, especially defensively, they were 11 points per 100 possessions better on defense with Pascal on the floor last year. Just wildly better defensively with him. The mid-range shot making, the isolation stuff that has improved over the years. He still knows how to get a bucket. Still pretty good passer. Plays all-star level basketball. I just think Pascal should probably get love here as one of the 5 best players in the conference. So stamping my name on it, Pascal Siakam, top 5.
I love Pascal. That is a great pick. I agree with you. I think he's the best player on the Pacers. Not the most important, but the best player.
Yep.
Hall of Famer. In my opinion,
I think so. Yeah,
I think it'll end up that way. I went with here again. I'm just going with resume.
Dave is shocked that we said Hall of Famer. By the way,
I think.
Well, let's think about it. So he has
got a title,
NBA championship. Mm-hmm. He has the All NBAs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Most improved, also one MIP. Yep.
All right, who's had a better career, Pascal or Carmelo?
Wow,
Carmelo Anthony.
Wow.
Well, I know we have to factor in USA, but I'm talking about NBA career.
Listen, I'm loving this. I'll let you guys debate
Anthony
this.
Probably has had a better career, but again, I mean, outside of the title.
And
James, you're going to get Knicks fans all over you with that one.
I know.
I'll tell you that.
And I love Melo, but I even think we've had this conversation Paul George's career or Melo's. That one to me is not even close. Paul George's career is better than Melo's.
Yeah, I would agree there. I would agree. Yeah.
So I think Pascal, because of the postseason success, if there's a world where he gets in, even if he doesn't win another title or anything like that. Yeah. No offense to Carmelo. You got to do something other than score.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think if you score like Carmelo, you maybe need some help.
That's fair. But I mean,
I love that.
He didn't help his team get some help. Yeah. He made him trade everybody for him to go to New York. But anyway,
that's fair.
I went with Cat. I think,
good pick.
Again, resume. Make the case he's the greatest shooting big man of all time. Some would argue Dirk. I wouldn't argue with either one of them. Can put the ball on the floor. The gravity he presents makes life easier for his teammates. I wish he shot more threes.
Me too.
They need to find a way to do that. Part of it was scheme last year, and part of it's him. He needs to let it fly. obviously not the defensive stalwart as somebody like Pascal, right? Doesn't have that versatility. But I think just the offensive resume, as I contradict myself after we talked about Melo, speaks for itself. He's been there, done that. I mean, he's been to the conference finals 2 years in a row. I just think Cat deserves that last spot with us all not touching anybody on the 76ers and Joel Embiid.
Yeah. I will say, I think that this season for Cat is super important. His ability to pass is what's going to take this team to the next level. And then obviously shot volume, but his passing was very good. And we didn't get a chance to see that last season with this team, just a function of the way that offense works. I mean, do you anticipate him being able to operate much from like the elbow as a facilitator, kind of like what he would do in Minnesota?
It sounds like when he's at the 5, that's going to be the case. And then when he's at the 4, they're going to move him around. Like we'll see Cat shoot corner threes, right? Like you think you'd want a great shooter to shoot the easiest 3-point shot. Last year, I believe, was his lowest percentage of corner threes in his career. So Mike Brown's going to move him around when he's at the 4, use him in different ways. And I think when he's at the 5, you'll see him as like a hub type thing. That's what it sounds like. I think about the way
that Mike Brown used Sabonis in Sacramento. And it's like, okay, so what if you had a guy like that, but who could also shoot, put the ball on the floor and pass? I feel like that could be a pretty potent guy. For me, I am going to go with Evan Mobley. Second team All-NBA last season, Defensive Player of the Year. And this is also part of why I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are under a lot of pressure this season. You have two of the 5 best players in the East, in my opinion, right now. And that doesn't even count that you've got Darius Garland and Jared Allen. I mean, they have a stacked squad when it comes to talent. And I think that they have to win this year. 2 years in a row of getting outbigged with the double big stuff. I mean, I think this is where Mobley, while he is great, he needs to take that next step on the offensive side. He needs to be a guy by the end of this year we're talking about as like one of the 2 or 3 best players in the East. Not a guy who is like a borderline 5th or 6th.
I agree.
If he
100%.
can do all those things, I think the Cavs are going to have another great season.
I thought it was interesting. We talked to Carter Rodriguez for the Cavs preview, and he mentioned that a lot of Mobley's good offensive games came against weaker competition. So it was like, cool. Monday night against the Hornets, he was dominating. Tuesday night against the Wizards, he was going off. But it was those other levels of competition where his offensive game just wasn't there. That's the step you need to see him take. You need to see him be established against bigger, stronger defenders and be able to get his offensive game off. Like when they ran the bench lineups with Mobley as the number 1 option, like dribble handoffs, let's run him and Strus together, let's run him and Sam Merrill together. That was such potent offense in the regular season. Playoffs, not the same case. It completely evaporated. How can he do that in the postseason? By the way, to that point, I think that's why I threw Pascal in there, because I think this Pacers team is actually going to be pretty good. I think even without Halliburton, their system sort of flows. They'll be able to play random basketball, and having Pascal be the number 1 option for them, it might just, on top of the season that he had last year, it'll help elevate him to another level too, just to be the number 1 guy on the team. So that's another case for Pascal, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. And I think Mobley, do you believe in the shot is a big thing, right? Like he needs to be a threat out there. Being able to put the ball on the floor. Like I remember when the Pistons, I was covering Detroit and they had the number 1 pick, and it was the Cade, Mobley, Green year. And I had a front office person explain it to me. We think Cade will be the All-NBA multiple time guy. Jalen Green will probably win Rookie of the Year. And Mobley will be the Hall of Famer. And I don't know. I didn't always, like, I think Cade has Hall of Fame potential, right?
Yeah.
But I understood what they meant. And Cade is Mobley is 100%, like has everything you'd want in a modern big today, and came in with the instincts. Like Jaren Jackson, like for example, like he fouled in college, he still fouls.
Yeah.
Mobley came, like when you come in, like yes, you can learn certain things, and Jaren is a great defender, but the foul thing will always hurt him. Mobley's come in with tremendous instincts, and it's only going to get like better and scarier for people on that end as his body continues to fill out and he continues to learn the game. And He's just a phenomenal player.
I thought Mobley would be the guy that passed Giannis. The guy who was like, I'm the new best player in the East. I mean, not yet, but I assumed that he would grow into being that guy. And the guy who would be able to guard Giannis, by the way. I mean, he's kind of just perfectly built to go up against him.
Yeah. I mean, look, the more versatile Mobley is on both sides of the floor, I think the more they'll throw him at 5 as their full-time center. And that makes the team building options easier, right? Because then you can look into trading Jared Allen to make your depth a little bit better, to make your roster make a little bit more sense. But we'll see. We'll see if they end up doing that.
Okay. So who do you guys think have a chance to break out in the East?
So when we're doing breakout, are we doing player or team?
Player,
right?
Yeah,
and we're not talking about like, if we're talking about going from really good to like MVP conversations, to me, that's Cade.
Okay. Yeah.
If we're talking about, I really like this guy, to he's the best player on their team, for me, it's Brandon Miller.
Ooh,
I like that. I like that a lot.
I love Brandon Miller. I love his game. He looks like he's put on like a good amount of weight. Like he doesn't look super thin. I'm not the biggest LaMelo guy. I think Brandon has the skill set, competes on both ends of the floor to be the best player on that team. And if you told me, again, I don't think the Hornets are going to be good this year, but if you told me that the consensus starts to shift that this is Brandon Miller's team this season, I wouldn't be surprised. And I want to give an honorable mention to Brandon Ingram. Like, I think
Brandons.
people are gonna, nice. Listen, it's very clear that I have like a type. I love the 6'6", 6'7" smooth
wingy guys.
Yeah. Ingram's really good, man.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I think people just like, and I understand, like, he doesn't shoot threes. He shoots too many mid-range twos. He's been in a shitty situation. I say this every time I talk about Brandon Ingram. I've watched him be one of the best 2 players in a playoff series already. He did it when the Hornets lost to the Suns. I think it was the year the Suns went to the NBA Finals. Like, he was really good in that series. He's a better passer than he gets credit for.
Absolutely.
He's a better defender than he gets credit for. If he can shoot more threes and less mid-range twos, I think the narrative on him would switch. I hope he does that this year. I just think, like, if he's healthy, which is a big if, people just remember, like, oh yeah, Brandon Miller's really good. And I just want him to be really good as the leader of the Paul George, Brandon Ingram, Brandon Miller fan clubs.
the Paul George being everybody's favorite player thing.
It's real.
It's a real thing, man.
And I'm 33. I'm not even 23.
I know.
But I love it.
Baffling to me.
But it's like T-Mac.
It is exactly like T-Mac. It's the smooth. It's the smooth scoring.
It's the smoothness.
Yes.
Can dunk on you. Like, I want to play like just makes basketball look so cool and
100%.
effortless.
Man,
that's exactly.
T-Mac was a powerful player too. Like, for a
100%.
skinny guard, right? Like, it wasn't always
Indy Paul
just
George was also a powerful player. Pacers Paul George before the leg injury.
And he had like, how many Eastern Conference Finals did he go to in Indy? Was it 2 or 1?
Yeah, 2.
Two?
Those Indy teams were great.
Yeah,
Shout
they
out
were
to David
fun.
West.
Shout out to David West.
Roy Hibbert, verticality.
Who's your breakout? Who's your breakout player?
Look, there are a few options here. I like the Brandon Miller shout out just because they take a lot of threes, and I mean him and LaMelo are going to take a lot of shots, and so like Miller is just going to be up for tons of usage. That's awesome. I think he'll have a chance to break out. I also like him defensively. I think he provides a lot of versatility, so that's a good call. I think Orlando is a team that's going to break out, and there's probably 2 players you're looking at as breakout players here with Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. I think I lean Franz Wagner for the breakout though, because I think we already know what to expect from Paolo. I think he already provides something. Hopefully he becomes more efficient as a scorer. I think the presence of Desmond Bane will help him be more efficient, work as a screener, guy who can finish around the basket, et cetera, et cetera. But Franz, he's a driver of offense. This guy can barrel his way to the basket. He's great at making decisions, getting downhill. I think he's a good positive defender too. He had a stretch. I mean, Dave, we talked about it last year, like when Paolo got hurt and we were all like, oh, well, that's the season for the Orlando Magic. And Franz pulled out like 10 or 15 games of this wildly efficient basketball where he was putting up 30 points a night, where he's putting up 25 points a night. That's the caliber of player that he can be. So I think I'm going to go Franz for breakout player of the year for the East.
If he can shoot it.
Right? If he can shoot it.
Thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
if that shot ever comes around, if it pops for him this season.
Honestly, that's for both of them. For both Paolo and Franz, they need to be able to shoot the rock, and they have not been able to do that consistently so far.
Let me ask you this, James. If you had to choose between one of these guys, let's say the Magic, I don't know, they just don't have the money. Both of these guys need a. Which one of these guys would you build around? Paolo or Franz Wagner?
Oh, man. So I like Franz a bit more as a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I like Paolo more as if the shot can come around, that guy's just more dangerous, just with the size and strength that he has.
Paolo has that playoff resume too, right? Like yeah, undeniable.
Man, that's tough. I'm gonna go Paolo just out of. I don't know, but the Michigan State in me doesn't want to pick Franz.
Oh yeah.
But shout out to Franz. He's like, I watched him a lot in college. Just didn't think he'd be this good. You know what? I'll go Franz. I don't think the shot's as bad as it appears. Like, I don't know. I think it'll fix itself one day.
I think the fact that it's as close of a conversation is pretty good, right? Like you're in a good
because
position
you wouldn't think that. Like a year ago, no one was saying this. But there's an argument to be made that Paolo and the way that Paolo kind of operates with the ball in his hands kind of holds his team back a little bit.
Yeah.
And the real key to them maintaining success while Paolo was out and while Franz was out last year was Jalen Suggs. And that's where I think Desmond Bane adding him to the mix is going to help them quite a bit. More ball handling. Anything to make it so that these guys just like Paolo can be a black hole, and that would kill their offense. So I think I would probably lean Franz. I like that as a breakout. For me, we talk all the time about Amen Thompson. I think Ausar Thompson is going to be the Thompson of this season. Just sign him up now for an all NBA defensive spot. Mm-hmm. I think the Pistons are going to be improved. We talked about Cade and maybe the leap that he's got coming. I think Ausar will benefit from that quite a bit. And, we're seeing more and more that teams are learning how to use guys like this. And I think that just another year under his belt. And remember, he started out not healthy last year. So, like, give him a chance to start fresh. Like, he's healthy in training camp. He gets to go out there from day one. I think Ausar Thompson is going to open a bunch of eyes. I mean, anytime you have a guy with that kind of motor, that kind of athleticism, and just, I don't know, there's just something about him, right? Like, he pops, and it's more than just athleticism.
Yeah, I think they're going to use him, like, honestly, like a lot of secondary ball handling this year, 100%. Which I like. He's a very smart player, good passer, just needed to tighten the handle. And I think you make a great point. The Pistons took off last year when he came back. It was also kind of the same time Ivy went down, right? So I'm curious to see how that situation plays itself out. But Ausar and Isaiah Stewart being two of the best defenders in basketball completely helped the Pistons' trajectory and then find an identity, right? Like, if Isaiah Stewart would have got the minutes to meet the requirements, he would have probably been on one of the all defense teams. He was that good last year. And I think when you have somebody like Ausar in the front court at the point of attack, and you have Cade who can defend, Ausar just unlocks a lot of stuff for what they can do defensively, unlocks them to be able to play fast in the open floor. If he can just like be an okay corner shooter, and he doesn't need to become Dan Marley, right? Like, he just needs to be able to hit corner open threes, right?
Shoot him.
Just be able to do that. Just be able to shoot them and make them. And I think JB's done a good job. What Monty struggled with, he just like put Ausar in the corner, and like that was what he did. They've used him in the dunker spot. They're going to use him as a ball handler. Like, JB is just a great coach, and he's going to find a way to utilize that unique skill set that Ausar has.
Even in the playoffs, they ran. I mean, they camped Ausar in the dunker spot, but there was like multiple possessions. I believe it was in New York where it was like Cade would drive, Ausar wide open in the dunker spot. Cade would drive, Ausar wide open in the dunker spot. They find a way, like corner crashes are a way to get offensive rebounds, but Ausar does an incredible job of like weaponizing the space that defenses give him to actually crash the offensive glass. And so even without the jump shot, I think he's going to be a pretty useful offensive player. I like that shout. Honestly, there's a few guys on the Pistons that we can mention. You mentioned Ivy in passing, but like maybe this is the year he puts it all together. You know, he got to watch them
individually before he got hurt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like he got to watch them play a certain brand of basketball. How does he fit into that? Jalen Duren is another guy. Like it's incredible to me that Jalen Duren is still 21 years old. Feels like he's been in the league for 5 years.
That kind of shocked me a little bit because in my head he's like 24, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But he's still super young and he still has a lot of room to grow too. So there's a couple guys on the Pistons that can make them really make a jump.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, guys, stick around after the break. We're going to talk about the teams that are going to do well in the East. Also, who's going to be at the bottom of the East? All right, when we did the Western Conference preview, we realized just how many teams are competing for the playoffs, the play-in. Like, they're not tanking. In the East, we have the Wizards and the Nets that we assume are just not going to try. I mean, we know Brooklyn isn't trying, period.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. is their best player. Is that where we're at?
Cam Thomas,
I would lean Cam Thomas, but Nick
Claxton.
Flip a coin.
Either way, that's a sad debate to have. So outside of the Wizards and the Nets, what are the other three teams that you guys have missing the play-in, just playoffs completely?
You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I have two non-shockers and one maybe shocker.
Okay.
Hornets.
Yep.
I just I think Charles Lee's a fine coach. I just don't think they're going to be able to defend. I don't love the center situation.
Yeah.
LaMelo's
always hurt. Brandon's been hurt, even though
Look, you can be a great horse jockey, but if your horse has two broken legs, you're not winning a lot of races.
Yeah. Right, 100%.
A great way to tank NBA games is to not have a starting center.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's a great point. There's nothing like Miles Bridges, like good NBA player, fine, right? Like, but it's just not a very inspiring group. They have no identity. There's just no culture there still. I just don't see, again, unless Brandon makes like a bigger leap than even I think, like, okay, maybe they fight for one of those, but I'm not the biggest LaMelo guy. He's always hurt. And just having trading Nurkic was just from a team building standpoint, I just didn't understand.
They traded every center.
Yeah, it just made no sense. Yeah,
Musa Diabate and Ryan Kalkbrenner.
I'm with you. I don't think Charlotte has no chance to play it.
No.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you guys on that too. Yeah.
My other team is Chicago.
I also have the Chicago Bulls.
I think Billy Donovan's a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to play hard. It's almost like a poor man's Orlando, where they're not going to be anywhere near as good defensively.
Right.
But you could say what you want about Levine. I at least knew there was going to be 5 to 10 to 15 games a year where just Levine can maybe score 40 and the Bulls might win.
Right.
Who in the hell on this team are you afraid of to score the basketball?
Kobe White. Yeah, that's the only guy. Yeah.
All due respect. And I mean with all due respect. Kobe White is a very good player. Kobe White is not going to swing games.
Yeah.
With the regularity that they will need him to swing games to stay out of to make the play in. This team just does not have the offense for me. That's great that they're going to be able to generate threes. They shoot them. Mm-hmm. Who's going to make them? I hope Buzelis ends up being good. I'm not the biggest. I think basketball Twitter is bigger on Buzelis than I am.
Yes.
Hands up. My bad on that. I'm very high on that.
I get it. I'm not mad at it. I understand it. And I thought there was some positive moments last year, right? But I don't think he's ready for that leap.
No, not yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
I like Dosumu, but like he's not going to move. Like this team just is not going to be able to score the ball.
It's a team full of role players.
Yeah,
I agree. I will say, and this is for you Bulls fans, I think this team can make a decently deep NBA Cup run. They are poised for an NBA Cup run. They're like perfect for Josh Giddey had a triple-double versus the Washington Wizards on a Tuesday night, and they are now 3-0 in their NBA Cup division. That is, watch out for the Bulls.
I love that.
Josh Giddey he's not scared to throw up a heave. I'll say that.
Yes,
that is what I will say. He will throw up a heave.
Every time Giddey's brought up while I'm on a pod, I owe him an apology. I just remember watching him at Summer League and watching him dribble like a stick figure, and just never thought I didn't get it with this guy.
Yeah. The Bob Cousy dribble is very funny.
He just
really
knows how to
changed.
play, and it's worked. It's worked. I was wrong, and I continue to be on an apology tour until I'm right, and then I'll tell everybody I told you so.
I do think they will be
big.
One of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. They don't have anybody.
They're not going to be good.
Guard
all right,
anybody.
So okay, we agree on Charlotte. We agree on Chicago. I think we're all in agreement there. So what's your third team, James?
The Miami Heat.
Oh
wow. Okay. All right. I have a different team, by the way. So we're not chalk anymore. Okay.
All right. So let's just go through it really quick. All right. So first, let me say this. There's just nothing inspiring about this Heat team to me. I love Bam. I want to make that clear. I think a Bam and Khalil Ware front court could be like fun. Like, I think it could be interesting. I like the Jovic signing if you're on, like, if you think Jovic is going to be a legit rotation player. Like, I think I've seen glimpses. I'm not like sold there like other parts of the basketball world is. But I understand why they think that's a good contract. Terry Rozier is just, it's bad. It's gone bad.
Yeah.
Is Norm Powell capable of like keeping the scoreboard moving? Great year last year. Can he do it again?
Mm-hmm.
The Jaquez thing, like that was, I don't think that was a sophomore slump. I think he was just a older rookie that came in and was like fine, and now it's kind of settled itself.
Mm-hmm.
My guy Tech 19 Simone Fontecchio, I like that addition, right? And he was pretty poor in Detroit last year. I don't think he's as bad as he was last year, but is that moving the needle? It's just not a very inspiring team, especially if Hero's out for a while.
You're not a believer in Kasparas Giaconis?
Not this year, no.
I think he looks pretty good
this year, but I
mean,
like
as
him.
a rookie.
Yeah, I like him. I think there's something there. I watched him a lot in college. I do like his game. I'm not there yet, but like, let's go through it, right? So, are Pacers or Heat?
Pacers, I would say.
I think they know how they're going to play, and it's just going to be like, I think they'll stink in the postseason, but like that's just a team you're not going to want to play on a Tuesday night in February.
Yeah. They're deeper too, I would say. They're a deeper team. Yeah.
I think we all agree Cavs.
Yep.
I think we all agree Pistons.
Yep.
I think we all agree Bucks.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we all agree Hawks.
Yep.
Dave?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I think we all agree Magic.
Yes.
Do we agree on Boston?
No, that is the team that I have in the play-in. So,
no, but wait a second.
No, you have them in the play-in.
Sorry, I have Boston outside of the play-in.
See, that's that's where we differ.
So now this is going to be interesting, and we'll get to Boston. I don't want to lose the thread on Miami because this is interesting because it seems like Boston, you're assuming they're going to pull the plug. Is that?
Yes, 100%. Okay. So look, I'm assuming not only are they going to pull the plug, but I think in February, they're going to look at, hey, we're the 9 or the 10 seed and they still have to get out of the tax. They still have to make another trade in order to
they have to
fully
trade
get out.
Like Simons or what's the wing?
Hauser.
Right?
Hauser.
Yeah.
So they still have to make another trade, and their front court rotation isn't the greatest. Like it's Neemias Queta and Chris Boucher and Luke Garza. And again, like I said, with the Hornets,
on the glass,
you're going to get crushed on the glass. A very easy way to lose games in the NBA is not having a good center. And so the Celtics are probably going to be middling in the East and then decide to pull the plug, which they'll be like the 11th seed or something. But.
Should they?
Or should they just play it Tatum out? Looks like he is almost. Tatum looks like he might be ready for opening night. I have no idea.
I don't know, man. He shouldn't come back, is my opinion. It's like
that's fair. It's a lost season.
Rest out the year. What is the point of being the 8th seed and going up against a Magic or Cavs or whoever you think is the number 1 seed, the Knicks in the round 1? I don't necessarily see the vision there. Like, first of all, imagine this: a top 10 pick in the summer with open flexibility for the Celtics to either trade or draft or go out and do something else to build a new team around Tatum and Brown and Derek White. I feel like that's the sell for me if I'm a Celtics fan. It's like, hey, we can add this new level of flexibility if we get a top 10 lottery pick. I don't know. That's my way of thinking. Yeah.
I just think there's still too much talent like if you just line it up, like Jalen, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Anthony Simons.
Yeah.
I still just is a little bit more inspiring than what Miami has to offer right now, as we don't know heroes thing. Like Philly, that's like the wild
big
card.
question.
Philly is a huge wild card.
They're the big
like
question.
They could win 30 games or 60 games.
Yeah,
60's high. 30
I'll
games
say
or
this: I
50
think Philly
games.
has too much talent. Even without, like, let's say Embiid plays 25 games, I still think they have too much talent, unless they have another season where everyone's hurt.
Yeah.
To miss
That's
the
where
play.
I'm at.
They've just got too many good guys. Too many good guys
fair.
that can put the ball in the basket, right? Like Tyrese Maxey is an all-star.
Yep.
Jared McCain was looking like the rookie of the year last year. If
I
Paul
love
George
VJ
can play,
Edgecombe.
and he can hoop.
Yeah.
So
and
they
no
have guys.
Expectations for Embiid. Like he's going to be flying under the radar.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nobody, if he plays 20 games, no one will be shocked. If he plays 50 games, 60 games, people will be very shocked, right? That's the level of expectations for Embiid this year.
Who do you guys have? Who do you guys have in the top of the East? Top 5? I mean, it might not even be. Might even legitimately be 5 teams that you have to think about in the East, if that makes sense.
I think we're chalk on this.
I struggled with I wanted to do 5A and 5B, but I'll go
all
ahead.
right.
Okay, well let's go down the list here. Okay, Cleveland.
Who's the best team in the East? I want to start at the top.
Regular season, I have the Cavs.
I like the way James answered that, because regular season I have the Cavs. In the playoffs, I would still have the Knicks as the better team.
Yeah, and that's the way I've got them. I think the Cavs have just got so many bodies; they should be able to chew up wins. But this is why, though, they shouldn't. They should not just go chew up wins. They need to experiment all season long, and they need to be working on their. The Bucks went through this a couple of years before they won their title. They just, you cannot be a one-trick pony, and they need to figure out what are our other tricks. What else can we do come playoff time when our bread and butter doesn't work? Knicks 2. That's chalk. Here's where it gets tricky.
Yes.
Do you give the Bucks the benefit of having Giannis and just the best player in the East and one of the best players in the world?
I didn't. I didn't. I thought about it. This is like 3 through 6, man. It
opens up. It does open up. Yeah.
I went Orlando.
I also went Orlando.
I know that they'll be. I know that they're as good as anybody on one side of the floor. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I have the Atlanta Hawks. I think that they're deep. They can score. I think they're going to win a ton of regular season games. So I have them. I think they're third best team in the regular season, at least.
They were 4th for me.
So I have Hawks 4th, and the reason I have them 4th is because I just don't know Kristaps Porzingis with the health stuff.
Right.
Like in general, how many games is he going to play for them is the big question mark.
Not even just him. Like it's not like I love Luke Kennard. He's been injured a lot. Jalen Johnson just came off an injury.
Yep.
There's stuff there to I don't know. I think it's more than just Porzingis, but I agree he's probably the biggest piece that you wonder.
Look, they have a high ceiling. Like we could be here in 2 months and say, oh, absolutely, the Hawks are the third best team in the East. Actually, maybe they're in the conversation with the other two. But I think right now Orlando's defense is what puts them over the edge for me, for sure.
Yeah, I've got Orlando 4. I worry about their offense. What's their philosophy offensively? What kind of system do they have? Do they have the shooting? And I think this is where Desmond Bane becomes one of the most important players in the East, because his shooting and playmaking on the ball, I think is going to be a difference maker for them.
I agree. 5th is interesting.
So who's your 5 and 6 then, James?
So I toggled back and forth with Milwaukee and Detroit.
Okay.
I only went with Milwaukee because Giannis is the best player in the East. The reason I didn't do Detroit 5, as I kind of mentioned earlier, they're still not going for it.
Right.
They have players I really like obviously Cade, right? I love Ausar. I love Stu. I love Ron Holland. I think is going to take a good leap. Tobias, he's the question mark for me. Does he have that drop off? Can they replace the Beasley efficiency with Karras and Duncan? Malik was incredible last year.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if they if those two can imitate that together. I wonder about the fit with Ivy. Like I know Detroit's not. Last year was a shock to everybody there. They're clearly not going for it and investing in a team where they're going to have guys on major deals, right? Like they want to see if last year was real. I just know that Milwaukee's going for it, and I know Giannis is going to play every night. He always plays. The Hawks are a bit deeper. They're going for it. The Magic are going for it. Cade is going to be a top 5 player in the East this year, and if you tell me he's first team All NBA or second team All NBA, I'm not surprised. If you tell me he's top 5 in MVP conversation, I'm not surprised. And they win 48 games, I'm not surprised. I don't know. I just hesitate to if they can replicate what they did last year. Like, so many things went right, but I also think they are. I think they are a better team than Milwaukee. Like 1 through 15, I would rather have the Pistons. It's just the other team has Giannis.
See, but what you said there, though, everything went right for Detroit last year. I'm very nervous about the Bucks this year because of the chatter about Giannis.
We're aligned. Yeah, exactly.
Where everything could go wrong. I mean, there's a scenario in which Giannis forces the trade. Bucks somehow are just floating around the play-in already and are pulling the plug. And they're one of those 3 teams that aren't the Wizards and Nets that missed the playoffs.
For sure.
Because they just have nothing. Who's going to dribble the basketball for the Milwaukee Bucks this year?
You don't like Cole Anthony?
I like Cole Anthony just fine. Do you like him as your starting point guard on a title contender?
Does he start? Is he a starter?
Can they not start him?
Yeah, let's see. Giannis, Gary Trent, Miles Turner.
Point guard Bobby Portis? Are we going to try that? I mean,
yeah. Kuzma.
I think you guys are mistaking this. Giannis thinks he's the point guard. Giannis wants to be the point guard, right?
I understand what everyone is thinking. It's just bad thinking. But I have Detroit. I have Detroit 5. I have Detroit 5 because I just trust them a little bit more. And again, youth and depth are important in the regular season. This is a team that got their first taste of winning last year. I don't think that they're going to come back. And if anything, they're going to be doubling down on what they did last year, these young guys.
That's fair. You
got to bank on
Detroit 5.
You got to bank on a little bit of the younger upside of the Pistons, right? Because we just talked about how Ausar can take a leap. Maybe Ivy puts it all together. Duran, younger guy. I don't know. That is better to take a leap on and to make the bet that they'll be better than Milwaukee with AJ Green and, just pieces that might work. But do they excite you in any sort of way to be a top 5 team in the East?
What's the Bucks' breakout potential? What's the thing that could surprise us when you look at that team? There's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you really believe in Cole Anthony. We're here talking about. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the breakout thing is Giannis has the best regular season in NBA history.
That would be it. Right.
Yeah.
And being coached by Doc Rivers, we know that there's a great chance for that. Esther, you agree with Bucks Detroit there?
Yeah,
Detroit?
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there. I kind of want to just mention that the Pacers might be in this conversation.
They
in a
could
couple
be
months.
Right. Andrew Nembhard, I think, is probably going to open a lot of eyes. He could have easily been my breakout guy, but I've been saying that for 18 months now. All right, guys. Who is going to win the East? Who's coming out of the East and going to the finals?
This is a question for James right here.
I know. I'm putting James on the spot.
So I don't I have my predictions piece coming out Thursday on the Knicks. I have the Knicks getting to the NBA finals.
Okay.
I wouldn't put money on it. There's no team in the East I would put money on. You could talk me into 4 of them. You could talk me out of 4 of them. I think it's going to be bumpy out of the gate for New York, just trying to get used to the system. And that's part of why I have Cleveland winning the regular season. They're just picking up from where they were last year, right? The same coach, same core, they're just going. But if it clicks and they end up shooting more threes, end up being efficient, figuring out stuff defensively, I think the upside is higher because I think they have a better team than Cleveland in terms of the versatility that they can go with 1 through 5. OG can guard 1 through 5 or 1 through 4. Mikal can guard 1 through 3.
Yep.
They have Mitchell Robinson if he's healthy. Like, I think he was one of the most dominant players all of last postseason with the offensive rebounding and how he just helps them so much defensively. Like, they finished 13th in the regular season on defense, and again, they play their starters more than anybody. With Mitchell, he didn't come back till March, and I think we would all agree he's probably their second best defender.
Yeah.
I just think that, and I've watched Mitchell Robinson punk Jared Allen. I have questions about Jared Allen against other really good centers. So when you said that earlier, I think that is something like if they can get Mobley at the 5 and address the Allen thing, like I think 100%. He doesn't always show up in the postseason.
Yep.
I just think the Cavs, year after year, they flame out in the postseason. So until seen otherwise, like I have to continue to think that will be the case. Orlando doesn't have the scoring.
Yeah.
But they could be so good defensively that it might not matter. Detroit's the one team that I still think they're just like a year away, but they might have the best blend of offense and defense when you take out the Knicks and Cavs of everybody else. But
Detroit
also again,
might have the most upside of any team in the East. Like it just the nature of the way that team is built. They have so many young guys that are talented that if they just pop, all of a sudden.
Well, if you told me, in April in May that the Pistons are in the conference finals because all these guys put it together and they had some sort of miraculous run where they beat one of these teams, I would not be surprised.
Yeah,
I think
they
that would
beat the Knicks last year in the first round.
Exactly. Yeah.
You get the Knicks.
I like James's reasoning for the Knicks because the Cavs are in a prove it year. This is what it is for the Cavs. It was like that for the Celtics before they won the championship. It was like that for the Nuggets before they won the championship. If you want to be in this conversation, if you want to win an NBA championship, you get slotted into this category of you have to prove it come playoff time, especially when you've been a team that's won 60 plus games, that's had multiple 50 plus win seasons, that has kept its core together in terms of continuity. If you're not changing anything for us to feel excited about, you're banking on this continuity being the thing that puts you over the edge. It has to be them in terms of the pressure meter, if you will. That's why it's the Knicks. That's why I think the Knicks should go to the NBA Finals. And by the way, it's part of just like banking on Jalen Brunson in the playoffs.
Yep.
He is so proven to be able to reach that moment and match any type of moment that's required of him. I think in a half court setting where you just need a bucket, especially against the Cavs, I'm taking Jalen Brunson. So,
Can I add one caveat really quick?
Yeah.
I think there's a caveat it's taboo to talk about, and I'm going to knock on wood for both teams. Cleveland and New York were very healthy last year.
It's true. Yeah.
The odds of them being as healthy again, obviously we all cover the league, are very slim. They knew Mitch would be out for a while, so that doesn't really factor in. Jalen missed 3.5 weeks with a rolled ankle. That was really it, though.
But OG really had a pretty healthy season, which is surprising, right?
Mikal again played all his games. Josh missed like games here and there. I don't even think he missed 10, but maybe. I don't think Cat missed too many games.
Yeah.
Like they were relatively healthy, as was Cleveland. You hope and pray that stays the case. Again, knock on wood for all the teams in the NBA. We don't want to see that. But that is something that could add another wrinkle to the already wrinkled Eastern Conference.
Yeah. All right. I'm with you guys. I think the Knicks, it's their time. I believe in Jalen Brunson, especially as a fourth quarter playoff performer. The guy can he's proven time and time again that he can get a bucket. And I think Cat will have a better season than he had last year. I just think he more settled. I think a coach that's got a better offensive philosophy, especially when it comes to bigs and how to use them. It's not just pound the basketball and work until you get a shot. Like I actually think Cat is going to have easier buckets this year.
I agree.
So I'm a believer in the Knicks. James, thanks for hanging out. Guys, go and read James Edwards over at The Athletic. He's going to be covering the Knicks for us all season long. He'll be here, of course, after their opening night game, I hope, next week.
Dave has moved to tears from this
what's
podcast.
funny is I yawned and all of a sudden my eyes started, and I was trying to no-sell that and get us out of here. But man, I had a tear running straight down my face.
Bring it up.
Basketball's back, baby.
The yawn tier actually just totally crushed me here at the end of the show. But that's going to do it for today's show, folks. Thank you guys for listening. Give us a rating, a review, wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, whatever. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know who you think is going to win the East, who the best player in the East is. Is Jalen Brunson going to win MVP this year? That's actually, to me, one of the bigger questions. If the Knicks make the finals, does that mean Jalen Brunson had an MVP type season to kind of get him to that point? But let us know what you guys think about that. Again, for James Edwards and Baraheni, I'm Dave DuFour, and this has been the NBA Daily. Thanks for waking up with us.